Hey guys, so we're going to be doing a full day wear test with some Kosas products. So I have their Tinted Face Oil, their Color and Light Pressed Powder Blush and Highlighter, and I also have one of their Weightless Lip Colors. So we're going to be putting all of this on. I'll be doing a check-in and then I'll give you my final thoughts at the end of the day. This will not be a first impressions. I actually have used all of these products at least once before. But before we begin, if you are new here, my name is Michelle and I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button down below, and let's get into this. So let's start with this Kosas Tinted Face Oil. I'm on their site right now because I wanted to read up a little bit more about this. Like I said, I had used this once before, and what I didn't realize is that it actually has an ingredient in here that my skin is a little bit sensitive to, and that is kaolin, which is a type of clay. It's used in a lot of makeup. It's just something that seems to bring out my eczema, but I have noticed also, it's like as long as I don't use it day after day, I'm fine. It's one of those things that kind of builds up. It slowly kind of like dries out my skin. So anyway, I've used this once before, but it was weeks ago. So it should be totally fine for me to use this today. I have it in the shade 03. There are a total of 10 shades. I'll hold this up here, see if you guys can see that. Those are the 10 shades. I picked 3 because it was described as light with neutral undertones. I had read, I actually don't see it on their website here, but I think it must have been on the, where did I purchase this? I purchased this off of Neiman Marcus or Nordstrom, I can't remember now. But off of that website, it seemed to give me the impression that because of the formula and the fact that it's, you know, a little bit sheer, that one shade in this formula could go for like 3 different like skin shades, if that makes sense. It almost doesn't even make sense when I say it out loud. This guy is $42, and I'm just looking at some of the key ingredients that they have here on their site. So all products are gluten, egg, nut, soy, and cruelty-free. There's avocado oil, meadow foam oil, red raspberry oil, jojoba oil, green tea seed oil, rosehip seed oil. It's 100% cruelty-free, vegan, gluten-free, free of parabens, silicones, sulfates, phthalates, mineral oil, PEG, and petrolatum. All right, so now we have the how to use. For medium coverage, shake tinted face oil well to emulsify, then massage 2 to 4 drops to skin using fingertips just as you would apply a serum or moisturizer. For fuller coverage, use 4 to 6 drops. For lighter coverage, use 1 drop and apply directly to skin where desired. So it sounds like for lighter coverage, they're talking about just kind of like spot concealing, I guess, if you will. I think I'll do like 1 to 2 drops and go from there. If I remember correctly, from the first time I used this, the drops just kind of started coming out as soon as I tipped the bottle over. So we'll see how many drops I end up with. But here is the bottle. It is plastic, it's kind of squeezy, and I'm gonna go ahead and shake this. There's a shaker ball inside. And this top just twists off. So I'm going to, 1, 2. And I'm just going to massage that in like they say. Oh, it is balling up. That's very weird. I have on my normal skincare. I feel like I have the same skincare that I had on when I first tried this. Let me think. Yeah, I actually didn't try any new skincare this morning or anything newer to my collection because I knew I'd be testing this. And it is exactly what I tried on the first time I tried this. But it's balling up. That did not happen before. Let's see if that just kind of goes away. Okay, so there was minor balling up of the product, but I don't feel any more bits. Okay, I like a light coverage, but that is like super light. So I'm going to take 2 more drops. 1, 2. And I'm going to massage into my forehead. Let's see if any balling up happens up here. Yeah, the product is like totally balling up. I'm going to zoom in and see if you can see the little balls here. Okay, that is a little disappointing. Well, I should probably mention now, the first time I used this product, I didn't really like it because I was under the impression that a face oil was going to be, you know, really moisturizing, really dewy, really radiant, but it really isn't. It's almost like a dry oil, which is probably better for most of the population, normal skin, combo skin, oilier skin, but for someone with very dry skin, it was a little disappointing. So that was my first experience. Now I'm dealing with this weird balling up. Oh, look, you can see the bits falling down there. Okay, well, that's a little disturbing. I was just thinking, I'm like, well, I could wash my face and try it with something else, but I just put on my normal skincare. So if I can't use my normal skincare under a foundation, I'm not going to use this foundation. And just so you know what I have on my skin, I have my La Mer serum that I've been using for months. I have the La Mer oil, the renewal oil. That also I've been using for months. Both of those are actually almost gone. And then I have my Sisley Velvet Nourishing Cream. And then I have the Sisley All Day, All Year on top. Those are the 4 things that I always use after I like tone my skin. And I just put on those 4 things today, knowing I was doing this test. Well, the good news is I think all the bits are gone. I pretty much just wiped them all away. And we'll go from here. But that balling is not a good sign. So there is the finish. And again, this is different from the first time I put it on. This feels a little bit more moisturizing. It feels a little bit less like a dry oil than the first time I put it on. It definitely feels a little bit more moisturizing. But as you can see, the coverage is incredibly light. I put on 4 drops. I don't know if like the balling up and the rolling off kind of took away some of the product, but this is a very, very light coverage product, which suits me. And they say for fuller coverage, use 4 to 6 drops. I'm afraid of adding any more product because I'm afraid it's going to ball up. I wonder if I should try. Let's try, because I feel like if it does ball up, it does seem to kind of roll away pretty easily. And I do want to see if this can get to a fuller coverage for you guys, because I know not everyone out there loves as light of a coverage as this. So I just took another 3 drops. That's how much came out. I only meant to do 2, but here's 3 drops. I'm going to put some around my eyes because that needs a little bit more help. And I'm going to like pat and press more than massage in to kind of avoid any balling up. Although now I'm curious. It's balling up a little bit. I think what's interesting about this formula, is I feel like the more product I put on, the drier it gets. It seems to get more and more powdery the fuller coverage it gets. So I don't know if you can see like the skin around my eyes. It's like pretty matte compared to where I had generally left it with like the 2 drop application. So I have a total of 7 drops on my face. And I don't know if I would call this even like a medium coverage. This is still pretty light to me. I can still see all my freckles. I can still see most of the discoloration around my eyes. I can still see like the redness around my nose. And again, that's okay for me, but I know if you're looking for a fuller coverage, I'm not sure if you're gonna get it without kind of compromising the oily dewiness of this, because it definitely does seem to be getting like more and more powdery the more product I put down. This shade 03 seems to be a very good one for my skin, which is good. I'm just reading the quick summary on here of this Tinted Face Oil. It says it's a featherweight medium coverage foundation and deeply hydrating skin elixir. I don't think it's medium coverage. 3 types of mineral pigment are delivered in a base of 6 active botanical oils to instantly even skin tone, minimize pores, and erase imperfections. Designed to be easily applied as a daily serum or moisturizer. Oh no. Applied in lieu of my skincare? I don't know how I feel about that. The breathable, silky formula's oils are quickly absorbed by the skin, leaving behind a perfecting layer of self-adjusting color with a velvety finish, no blending required. Well, it did go on very, very easily. There is like a velvety finish for sure. Self-adjusting color, I don't feel like it changed when I put it on. I don't know if the 03 is just like a spot on kind of match for my skin tone, so it didn't have to adjust, but I'm not exactly sure what that means. And I am not one to use a foundation in lieu of my skincare. That is never going to happen. So this designed to be easily applied as a daily serum or moisturizer, that is not going to be the case for me. This is always going to go on top of my foundation, or makeup is always going to go on top of my skincare. But I wonder if that's why it was balling up, that it really isn't meant to be put on top of skincare. I'm starting to think that this product is meant for someone younger. And maybe created by someone younger. Well, let's move on. Those are some of my initial thoughts. As you guys can probably tell, I'm not too jazzed about this tinted face oil, unfortunately, but I have used these other products and I would like to get to them. So I'm going to go ahead and get to the point where I need to apply some blush and highlighter, and I will be right back. All right, so I just added like a little bit of powder to my whole face. I really wanted to set down my concealer that I put on. So that velvety finish to the foundation is definitely pretty matte now. And unfortunately, more criticism for this tinted face oil. I don't really think I liked how my makeup is going on over it. It just feels like it's kind of grabbing stuff. Even though I put down a light layer of the powder, everything just looks a little bit off. Nothing looks as smooth as it normally does when I've used any of my other like favorite foundations. So I'm not really liking how my makeup is sitting on top of it, unfortunately. But we're gonna power on. We're gonna play around now with the Color and Light Pressed Powder Blush and Highlighter. Whoa. And I have it in the shade Longitude 0. I think there's 3 shades altogether. I picked the one that just seemed kind of like the most neutrally pink. And I've used this blush actually quite a bit, and I really, really love this blush. It is fairly pigmented. It has a little bit of a sheen to it. I put down some bronzer contour here that is matte because I wanted you guys to see what kind of sheen these two products gave off by themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and use my new favorite blush brush, which is the Sonia G Cheek Pro brush. I'm going to just dip it just once into the blush, and that's what I get. And I'm just going to apply that to my cheeks. This shade is like one of those like flirty pink blush shades, really bright and youthful. And this is how much color payoff I'm getting with just one dip into the pan. Quite a lot, huh? I really like the color. I really love the pigmentation. I love the sheen. It's just really subtle. It's like this nice kind of satin sheen. It's gorgeous. So let's move on to the highlighter, this guy over here. And I really like the tone of this highlight. It's like, you know, kind of champagne-y. It has a little bit of warmth, but not too much. It's not too gold, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to use my Sonia G Sculpt 3 brush and just apply that right on top. Isn't that beautiful? I really like these two products. This duo is wonderful. This line also has like cream highlighter and blush, and I'm thinking about trying one of those as well, but I decided to get the pressed powder because it doesn't go bad as quickly as cream products, which I have a lot of. But anyway, I opted for the powder, but there is a cream version which looks very, very tempting. So the last product we have to try on is the Weightless Lip Color. So I'm going to go ahead and do my eyes off camera and I'll be right back. All right, so we've got the Weightless Lip Color here. I have it in the shade Undone. I have worn this once before and I was a little bit surprised by how not weightless it was. I just feel like the name is a little bit deceptive. I just thought it was going to be something really balmy, not even necessarily that sheer, but I really thought it was going to be like of a balmy kind of formula. And this has a much more like weighted, pigmented lipstick kind of feel. So here's the color. It's very nice packaging. It's magnetic, so it just slides shut. But I'm going to go ahead and apply this and you'll see just in one swipe how pigmented it is, which is great, just not what I expected. I'm also not that keen on the color, but that's my own fault. This is the one I picked. But this is extremely pigmented, and I guess I could see why they call it weightless. I mean, it glides on really, really nicely. It does glide on very smoothly. It's not very skippy. It doesn't tug at all. So there's definitely that, which is really great. But if I remember correctly from the first time I did wear this lipstick, that it does eventually start to really set down, and my lips started to feel really kind of dry after about a half hour or so. But during my first check-in, I'll be able to report back and let you know how it feels this time around. So there's all the Kosas products that I purchased on my skin, the tinted face oil, the blush and highlight, and the lipstick. It's about 7:30 right now, so I'll be back probably around noon and give you an update on how everything is wearing. So I'll see you then. Hey guys, I am doing my midday check-in. It's about noon right now, so I've had this makeup on for about 4.5 hours. Figured I would just kind of do this vlog style. I feel like my iPhone camera is probably a little bit more true to life. It's just, you know, it's less fancy. So I was taking a close look in the mirror and I'm not that happy with what's going on with this foundation. I saw bits of it kind of just sort of coming up off my nose. I took my finger and I did this and they went away. So that's okay, but it's just, it's really weird. So I look like I'm getting a little bit oily here, but I look really, really dry over here. So I really don't know what's happening. And then I saw little flakes of it in my hairline here that I kind of plucked out. I wanted to make sure that it was actually the foundation and not like dandruff or something. And it wasn't. It was like foundation. There was like pigment in there. And it just, I don't know if you guys can see, but it looks like it's just kind of like lifting up off of my forehead, like right here. I don't know. It's just doing really weird stuff. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. And the lipstick feels really dry right now. Feel very powdery. Feels like I almost have like a powder finish lipstick on. So I'm probably going to be taking this off. You probably won't see this at the end of the day when I do my final review and check-in. The blush highlighter, still going strong. Those are still thumbs up. All right, so that is my check-in. I will see you guys probably around 5 o'clock. I will see you in another 5 hours. Hey guys, it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm cutting this review about an hour short. I just wanted to come on here because I just want to wash this makeup off. I don't hate this face oil. It didn't really work out for me when I first applied it. It kind of balled up. It did that really weird thing, but once I kind of wiped all of that away, it looked okay. It really isn't what I was expecting. When I heard the words face oil, I thought it was really going to be very dewy and radiant and emollient, something that you were going to have to set down with, you know, a powder, and you probably wouldn't need any highlight. It was just going to have this kind of like glossy appearance. And that really isn't the case. It's more of a dry oil. So I had to kind of get over these preconceived notions that I had for this particular product. And even during the first check-in, as you guys heard, I wasn't that jazzed about this foundation. I felt like it looked really dry on my cheek. I felt like it was getting kind of oily and shiny, like right here on my cheeks, not really under my eyes, but like on my cheeks next to my nose, but not even on my nose, which is weird because that's generally where I get shiny, but just kind of like right here, it just looked like really kind of oily, but nowhere else. It also looked like it was kind of lifting up from my forehead during my first check-in. Since then, I feel like maybe the product has calmed down a little bit or my skin has accepted it a bit, but this is not looking quite as dry to me. Even this part of my face isn't looking as oily as it did at my first check-in, which I find so curious. And then on my forehead, it definitely doesn't look perfect. I definitely see like a little bit of texture going on here, and this is where my skin is a little bit problematic. I have a little bit of like scarring from very old eczema, and this is usually where I kind of take a look to see if a foundation kind of picks up on texture and things like that. And I'm starting to see that a little bit. Not so much where I feel like it's bothering me, but it's definitely there. But I'm going to do a close-up where I'm going to pan down from my forehead down to my chin. So as you can see, you know, the foundation is still there. I haven't done anything extremely strenuous today or anything to really put it through the ringer, but I had a normal day. I had to go out and run an errand, and I've been working the rest of the day. So I think it looks fine on the skin. I guess I'm just puzzled because I've had such different experiences with this foundation the 2 times that I've worn it. The first time when I applied it, I didn't get any of that balling up of the product. I don't think I used anything different in my skincare routine. And then that first time that I used it, it felt really, really dry on my skin. This time, doesn't feel quite as dry. It looked a little bit dry. Now it doesn't look dry. It looked oily. Now it doesn't look oily. I really don't know what to make of this tinted oil. The unfortunate thing is, even if I do come to like this is not something I can wear all the time. So this was definitely kind of a tricky product for me to review. I hope I gave you some interesting information. Please ask me any questions down below in the comment section. I apologize if this seems really kind of muddled, but just these two experiences I've had have been so wildly different. So I don't know, maybe next week I will try it again and see what happens, and I'll report back. As for the other products, I really love this blush highlighter duo. The blush, as you can see, is still very pigmented on my cheek. I haven't touched up or anything. The highlight is still there. It's really satiny and beautiful. It's not too shiny, but it's not completely dull where it's too soft. It really is just sort of, you know, like a nice highlight that's there. The lipstick has, as you can tell, has already worn off. I am not the biggest fan of this lipstick. If you don't have extremely sensitive lips to like dry lipsticks, I think you'll be fine with this. This lipstick is not as dry as like a liquid lipstick. It's not as dry as like a matte, like a true matte lipstick, but it is definitely on the drier side for a cream lipstick. But it is very, very pigmented. That's the trade-off. If you really like a pigmented lipstick that has a bit of staying power, you're gonna like this lipstick. So that is it for this review. Again, I apologize that the Tinted Face Oil review or my sort of stream of consciousness thought about the Tinted Face Oil was a little muddled, but I really got some very, very different results the two times that I wore it. I love the blush and the highlight, and not the biggest fan of the lipstick. So leave your questions down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe down below, and I will see you in my next video.